Hi everyone, it's Stella, and oh my God, this is my second Facebook. What is it called? Facebook Live? I don't even know the name of it, but I'm really excited to be here because, um, as you may or may not know, like I've been on a speaking streak and doing a lot of webinars and podcasts and talks, and sometimes like my very best friends who are in need miss out, and so that's why I'm here, is because I want to be able to share some of the good stuff with you in case you're struggling at work, in case you're just feeling bored, in case it's just maybe you have an awesome job but it's getting a little harder and harder to wake up in the morning. Maybe you used to give 150% to your work and now you're kind of like 80, or maybe it's just straight up toxic and it sucks. So any of those, all of those, I wanted to just give some quick tips because it's evening, and I thought it would be, I just want to experiment with this format. So please let me know what you think. And hi, Sean. So what I'll do, this is just an experiment every night this week at around 8:30. Hopefully, if Lenore goes down to bed on time, I'll do one kind of mini tip. So tonight I wanted to talk to you about your mind, because that's what often gets in the way, right? And that's what ends up driving us crazy. So the thing is, when we are dealing with a negative environment at work, or when we have an abundance of negative thoughts or feelings, what happens is we trigger what's called our negativity bias, or it's triggered. Our negativity bias is our brain's natural instinct to pay attention to anything that is bad, wrong, or threatening. This is why the news just feeds on our fear. And so if someone gives you, let's say, a piece of constructive feedback at your presentation, and meanwhile you've got 10 other glowing reviews, where's your mind going to go? It's going to go on that one person's criticism, right? And that's how you're going to interpret it, as probably as a criticism. And that's just going to ruminate. Or maybe someone passed you in the hallway, didn't say hi, and you took it personally, and that's just going to like stay in your head. So our negativity bias is a evolutionarily adapted kind of way of surviving. And it worked really great for our caveman, cavewomen ancestors who were in the middle of the wilderness and who always needed to be on high alert and really assume the worst, right? So if you're in the middle of the jungle or wilderness or wherever you are, and there's a rustling in the back of the bushes, it's in your best interest to assume that it's a predator and it's going to eat you, so that you should run and do a little fight or flight, right? But meanwhile, our office situation is not the same, right? We're not dealing with tigers and lions and bears or whatever. And so we need to learn how to manage our mind, because otherwise that constant anxiety actually will start to narrow our thinking. And what we know from research is that our emotions literally change what we see. Literally will change what we see. So there was an experiment done where they had people induced into a positive mood by showing them pictures of puppies and pictures of babies, and they played them like really funny movies. And then another group was made to feel really depressed, and they showed them really sad images and really tragic movies, and they were feeling really low. And then they had each group put on a pair of eye tracking devices and stare at a screen. And what they found is that those people who were in a bad mood just focused on one particular area inside the screen. And meanwhile, those who were in a good mood, their eyes really scattered around the periphery of the screen, and then they kind of went inside. So when you are in a positive mood, you literally see the big picture. Your vision is different. And so when we get into a funk or when we feel really stuck, we want to manage our thoughts and our emotions so that we can actually see more possibilities and options for ourselves. Does that make sense? Hey, Victoria. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Deanna. So, so does that make sense, you guys? This is like my first Facebook Live, so I have no idea how we interact on this yet. So anyway, how do we do that? How do we manage our emotions? How do we manage our thoughts, given that we have this negativity bias? Well, the first thing I tell everyone to do is to stop complaining. Stop complaining. Now that is easier said than done. And it's easier said than done because half the time we don't even realize we're complaining. We're complaining in our minds all the time. And there's a really famous quote, I forget who said it because I don't have my slides in front of me, but it goes something like this. Complaining is like bad breath. You notice it when someone else does it, but you don't notice your own. And so we want to start to become aware of our own thoughts and where we're complaining. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to be all Pollyanna and just pretend like everything is great. If there is something wrong, we want to acknowledge that it is wrong. But there's a difference between observing something that's wrong, observing something that's not fair, observing someone who's not treating you with respect or dignity. There's a difference between that and complaining. When I talk about complaining, I mean we are embodying a state of suffering, right? So I could say, for example, like right now, I actually have a slight headache, right? So it's like right here. And I could just say like, oh my God, like, I have another headache, right? Or I could say like, oh, I got a headache. So it's about the energy that we infuse or that we embody into the experience. So when I say stop complaining, I mean, notice what's happening, but don't allow that to be you, right? So another way you could do that is that even if you're feeling, let's say, angry or you're feeling frustrated, you could say something like, I am feeling frustrated versus I am so frustrated, right? I am versus I am feeling. I believe it was the ancient Greeks who described emotions as visitors. They're just coming to visit. And they're going to leave just as quickly. And so what we want to do is observe them rather than be them. And if you could stop complaining, that would really help you manage that negativity bias. So what will also really help you is to practice gratitude. And everyone knows to count their blessings, right? It's not about knowing, it's about doing, right? We all know how to lose weight, but we're still eating the chocolate cake. So I want you to actually practice this. So your homework, if you're willing to take this on, I know you might just be randomly stumbling upon this Facebook Live, but if you want to transform how you experience your work, I'd like you to, for the next 7 days, just practice stop complaining. It's not always going to happen every time, but you'll start to notice your thoughts. And every night, I want you to write down 3 things that you're grateful for, especially, and I want them to be about work, which I know may be really hard for some of you because there's so many things that may be going wrong. But this is a muscle that we're building. And the stronger you develop a gratitude muscle, I call gratitude the gateway emotion to a lot of goodness. So the more you develop it, the more easy it will become for you to shift your attention from everything that's wrong to, oh my God, look at how much is right. Look at the beauty of my life. Look at the abundance. Look at how supported I am. And the reason why we want to do this is because often when we're in a crappy situation at work, what happens is we just want to focus on how do we get out of this? How do we stop this pain? How do we stop this person from annoying us? How do we fix this awful situation, right? But trying to just avoid the negative is not the same thing as moving towards the positive, right? So what we need to do to get into that mindset, to help you manage your mind, to help you even notice what's good, is to stop complaining and to practice your gratitude. And I recommend writing it down every night before you go to bed, is write down 3 things you're grateful for about your job. And if it's really hard for you to do that, I mean, you can think about the coffee that they have in your office, the friend who makes you laugh at work, free parking. I'm sure you can come up with something. And in the beginning, it may feel a little difficult, but you will get better at this. Even if it feels fake in the beginning, which is totally normal, you will get better. And I want to challenge you to do this for 7 days. Now, research has shown that if you track your gratitude, if you write your 3 things you're grateful for I believe it's like 21 days, you can actually start to reverse symptoms of depression. You'll feel more happier overall. So it can do a lot for you. So that is my homework for you, and that is my tip tonight. And I'm going to be doing this every day, and to see what happens for the next Monday through Friday, 8:30ish, if you guys like this. And if you are interested in being, or if you feel like you need support and you're really in a place where you're ready for things to change at work, if you feel like you've tried everything, you've advocated for yourself, you have tried to change things, but you find that you just keep hitting the same pattern over and over again, whether it's with someone at work or whether it's with your boss or an employee, or you're just feeling bored and you're not feeling like you're living your purpose, or you're not really doing what you're meant to be doing, check out my program, theworkhappinessmethod.com. I will put the link in here. I think I did that already. I want you to check it out because it's an 8-week program where I spend so much time on this type of stuff and giving you tools to transform how you think so that you can see all the possibilities around you. Because no matter where you go, there you are, right? So if you're thinking about quitting, or you're thinking about changing your team or changing your roles and responsibilities, thinking that's going to solve everything, it may not. It's just going to come up for you in a different scenario. And so that's why we need to really learn how to master our mind. Because if we don't, it's going to take control of us, and it has that negativity bias that I mentioned. And so for all my lovely friends and family that I see joining, you can watch the start of this later in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. So definitely check out theworkhappinessmethod.com. I am actually running a special discount and giving a lot of juicy bonuses if you're interested in working together. I have a special bonus called How to Deal with Toxic Coworkers. I have a special bonus called How to Get the Respect and Appreciation You Deserve. I have a special bonus called How to Get the Money You Deserve, in addition to helping teach you how to master your mind, how to get clear on what you want, how to ask for what you want, how to have those difficult conversations. So it's a summation of all the work I've been doing with over 1,400 people over the last 13 years across 21 countries. So if you're starting to feel like something needs to change for you at work, do check it out, workhappinessmethod.com. And I'm running some special bonuses and specials. All right, well, okay, this is it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. And tomorrow, God willing, Lenore goes to bed on time, 8:30 Eastern time. I'm going to do this again and give you another juicy tip on how to be happier at work. Good night.